Captain Marcus Reed stood in the Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Council, his military dress uniform crisp against the backdrop of countless alien dignitaries. The peace treaty between the Terran Federation and the Vorthak Empire had been signed, but tradition demanded a ceremonial bond between the species. As the human representative, he was expected to choose one of the 7 Vorthak princesses as a diplomatic consort. The 6 elder princesses stood in a magnificent line, their crystalline skin shimmering with bioluminescent patterns that spoke of royal breeding. Princess Lyra commanded attention with her towering height and crown of living coral. Princess Nova's wings stretched wide, casting rainbow shadows across the marble floor. Each possessed the classical beauty that had made the Vorthak renowned across the galaxy. Then there was Princess Kira. She stood apart from her sisters, barely reaching Marcus's shoulder. Her scales were a muted gray instead of the brilliant blues and purples of her siblings. No bioluminescent patterns graced her skin, and her small frame seemed almost fragile compared to the others. The assembled aliens whispered among themselves, clearly expecting the human to choose one of the more impressive princesses. Marcus had studied the files extensively. Kira was the 7th daughter, born of a minor consort, with no claim to succession. The other species representatives had dismissed her entirely, but something in her posture caught his attention. While her sisters preened and displayed their abilities, Kira stood with quiet dignity, her large golden eyes observing everything with sharp intelligence. "I choose Princess Kira," Marcus announced. The hall erupted in shocked murmurs. Emperor, Vex's 4 eyes widened in surprise while the other princesses exchanged glances of confusion and barely concealed relief. Kira herself seemed stunned, her scaled hands trembling slightly. The diplomatic quarters assigned to them were modest by royal standards, but Marcus found them comfortable. Over the following days, he discovered that his choice had been wiser than he realized. While the other princesses were busy with ceremonial duties, Kira possessed a brilliant mind for strategy and politics. She spoke 17 languages fluently and had memorized every trade agreement between their species. "Why did you choose me?" she asked one evening as they reviewed diplomatic documents together. Marcus looked up from his datapad. "You were the only one actually listening during the negotiations, not just waiting for your turn to speak." A faint blush colored her gray scales purple. "My sisters think I'm defective." "Different isn't defective," Marcus replied. "On Earth we have a saying about still waters running deep." Their partnership grew stronger each day. Kira's insights helped Marcus navigate the complex web of alien politics, while his straightforward human perspective cut through layers of diplomatic doublespeak. They worked together to establish trade routes that benefited both species, earning respect from council members who had initially dismissed them both. But Marcus began to notice strange occurrences. Sometimes he would find Kira in deep meditation, her small form surrounded by an almost imperceptible energy field. Documents that should have taken hours to analyze were completed in minutes. During one particularly heated negotiation with the hostile Drac Confederacy, Kira had somehow known exactly what arguments would sway their representatives. The truth revealed itself during an assassination attempt. Marcus was reviewing security reports when armed Drac infiltrators burst into their quarters, their energy weapons charged with lethal intent as they advanced on the human diplomat. Marcus reached for his sidearm, but knew he wouldn't be fast enough. Then Kira stepped forward. The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. The attacking Drac suddenly found themselves moving in slow motion, their weapons growing heavy in their hands. Kira's eyes had begun to glow with an inner light, and the air around her shimmered with power. "You will leave this place," she said, her voice carrying harmonics that seemed to resonate in multiple dimensions. "You will forget this mission. You will return to your ships and depart this system." The Drac assassins turned and walked away as if in a trance. Once they were gone, Kira collapsed into Marcus's arms, her small body trembling with exhaustion. "What are you?" he whispered. She looked up at him with tears in her golden eyes. Something that wasn't supposed to exist. The full truth came out over the next few hours. The Vorthak possessed a rare genetic variant that appeared once every few thousand years. Those born with it wielded immense psychic abilities, but the power came at a cost. They appeared physically diminished compared to normal Vorthak, leading ancient societies to exile or eliminate them out of fear. The royal family has hidden my nature since birth, Kira explained. They thought a diplomatic marriage would be a safe way to remove me from the succession without causing scandal. But your abilities could revolutionize galactic diplomacy, Marcus said. Imagine conflicts resolved without warfare, trade disputes settled through understanding rather than force. Kira shook her head. Power like mine has toppled empires. The council would demand I be contained or eliminated if they knew. Marcus made his decision then. He had sworn an oath to serve humanity's interests, but he had also come to care deeply for the remarkable being beside him. Then we keep it secret. We use your abilities carefully, subtly. We change things from within. Over the following months, their diplomatic missions became legendarily successful. Conflicts that had raged for decades were resolved through their intervention. Trade flourished between previously hostile species. The human Vorthak alliance became the strongest force for peace in the galaxy. Only Marcus knew the true cost. Each use of her abilities drained Kira further. Her already small frame grew thinner, and the golden light in her eyes sometimes flickered like a dying star. It's worth it, she insisted when he voiced his concerns. For the first time in my life, I'm using what I am to help others instead of hiding from it. Their final mission took them to the edge of known space, where a war between two ancient species threatened to consume entire star systems. The negotiations were brutal, with centuries of hatred poisoning every exchange. As the talks reached an impasse, Kira made her choice. She dropped all pretense and unleashed the full extent of her abilities. The warring delegates found themselves experiencing each other's memories, feeling the pain they had caused, understanding the fear that drove their hatred. When it was over, peace accords were signed through tears of genuine reconciliation. But Kira lay unconscious for 3 days, her life force nearly spent. She recovered, though permanently weakened. Word of their success spread throughout the galaxy, bringing them recognition as the greatest diplomatic team in galactic history. None suspected the true reason for their effectiveness. Do you regret choosing me? Kira asked as they watched the sunset from their quarters on the Vorthak homeworld. Marcus took her small hand in his. I chose the least favored princess and gained the most remarkable partner in the galaxy. Some might call that luck, but I call it destiny. In the years that followed, their legend grew. The human soldier and the forgotten princess who brought peace to the stars, proving that sometimes the most powerful forces in the universe come in the most unexpected packages.